I am Mark Fraley, the chairman of the Monroe County Democratic Party. The Democratic Party represents a broad coalition of individuals and organizations deeply disturbed by Trump's pending nomination to the Supreme Court. Even in our nation's most dark periods, the Supreme Court's faithfulness to America's foundational principles has helped ensure that all Americans have access to the ballot box, that women have the liberty to determine their own reproductive destiny, lesbian and gay partners have the freedom to wed, and common citizens have the right to assemble in an effort to form a more perfect union. The Democratic Party and our constituency organizations join the call to protect our fundamental rights and oppose the Trump administration's nominee to the Supreme Court.
I want to read to you something that we posted on our Facebook page and something that we distributed to our membership here just a few hours ago. The Supreme Court has not been nearly strong enough on issues of racial justice, but Trump's replacement of Justice Anthony Kennedy, the justice in the middle on such cases, threatens to undermine civil rights gains while promoting discrimination and social injustice in ways our nation will suffer from for decades to come. Issues like mass incarceration, support for affirmative action, voting rights, and civil rights are on the decline, while police brutality, inequality in education, incarceration rates for Black women, racial profiling, and other issues that disproportionately impact African Americans are on the rise. On Monday, July 9th at 8 p.m., Trump is poised to announce his selection of someone who is completely impervious to all issues of equity, fairness, and inclusion. Our own Senator Joe Donnelly is a critical vote in saving the Supreme Court on issues of racial equality and so much more. There is precious little that Democratic senators can do procedurally to either slow down or stop this vote altogether, which is why it's imperative that we contact our two Indiana senators, Joe Donnelly and Todd Young, and their numbers are 202-224-4814 for Joe Donnelly and 202-224-5613 for Todd Young, and tell them to oppose any of the names on Trump's current list, all of whom have been reviewed and found entirely unacceptable by the NAACP and other civil rights legal experts. They would reverse decades of progress for which we have fought so hard as a nation.
Hola, mi nombre es Sofia McDowell y soy vicepresidente del Indiana Latino Democratic Caucus en el Distrito 9. Quiero hablar hoy sobre la nominación a la Corte Suprema que va a anunciar Donald Trump esta noche. Es esencial que la persona nominada entienda a todas las comunidades en los Estados Unidos, incluyendo a la comunidad latina. La historia y el prejuicio contra la gente latina en los Estados Unidos ha sido impactante en muchos aspectos dentro de la comunidad latina. Por eso tenemos que unirnos y demandar y exigir que la persona que llegue a ser juez en la Corte Suprema sea justa con la interpretación de las leyes impuestas que afectan tanto a la comunidad latina como a todas comunidades. Que el juez sea incluyente. Gracias. Hi, my name is Sofia McDowell and I'm the Vice President of the Indiana Latino Democratic Caucus of the 9th District. As a Latina, I'm extremely concerned about the vacancy that Justice Kennedy is leaving in the Supreme Court of the United States and the upcoming appointment or nominations by Donald Trump. I've prepared a statement that I'd like to read for you today. We've seen time and again since January of 2017 that the current president and his colleagues are expanding programs that harm communities of color. In the history of the United States, marginalized communities and people of color have had disadvantages in voting rights, have had redlining of neighborhoods and restrictive mortgage loans that determine that they cannot live in certain neighborhoods. There has been unlawful detention and disproportionate imprisonment for Latinos and other people of color. Right now, crossing a border as an asylum seeker has been criminalized. It is an administrative process that is now criminalizing victims who are fleeing countries that have had detrimental political interventions by the US. And now the President and Attorney General Jeff Sessions wants us to turn our backs on them. These are only some of the key issues that severely impact the Latino community in this country, a community of about 57 million. Remember, the only individuals who are not immigrants are Native American people. The judicial nominee for the Supreme Court will have a direct impact on interpreting law, as courts do. It is intensely important for the Latino community to have an individual appointed who understands the needs of all the communities in the United States. Thank you.
Young people will be affected by the decisions of the Supreme Court for a good majority of our lives. The Supreme Court justice that we appoint will make crucial decisions about the future of college and high school accessibility. I want to live in a world where my peers are not limited by their parents' income. And if we appoint an ultra-conservative justice to the Supreme Court, we set up ourselves up for further undermining the American dream for my generations and future generations to come. The Supreme Court also will and can decide on the future of gun legislation. In the recent months, students have expressed their concern about their safety pretty clearly. All this passion and youth activism has the real possibility of amounting to no change if Trump appoints a justice now. It would not only leave the gun violence problem unsolved, but it would also have the capacity to make it worse.